Giving inspirational speeches is one of the hardest things to do, especially in large groups such as this, since you have different backgrounds, personalities, and even points of view. You are very much different in how you perceive a dream, how you embrace all the sacrifices to get what you wanted and make that dream happen. But there's one common denominator that binds all of you, aside from your dream of becoming an architect, and that is being a leader. Not to become one, because you are already one. Now, the negative voice inside your head will tell you, I'm not a leader, I'm just a member, a humble follower. Or maybe some of you will pin yourselves down. I cannot take that big responsibility. You see, you immediately equate leadership to failure. As crazy as it sounds, but most of us have the heart to serve, but nobody wants to take lead. We always depend on other people's decisions and let our actions and choices be influenced by other people's options. We deflect responsibility like dodging a bullet. We allow ourselves to succumb in the presence of other people whom we think are way better than us. We have lots of fears in our heads: fear of rejection, failure, and fear of making a bad decision. But, ladies and gentlemen, ask yourselves, doesn't being a servant carry the same load? Does being a member exempts you from the responsibility, or does being a follower guarantee a fail-proof system that prohibits you from making a mistake of your own? Leadership in a nutshell could be the person who takes the front line. He has the final word, or the one who presides over an organization. Now, a leader in history books tells us otherwise as being the one who leads the battle with his sword in shiny armor. He or she is the one who puts diversity aside, creating circles of influence and uniting people. A leader can also have that seat of power who gives order and command. Over the years, the concept of leadership changes depending on the context, but some things never changed, and those are people and the leadership spirit. Because without people, there is nobody to lead. And with a dull leadership spirit, how can you lead? People are said to be the heart of every organization or family. To make things simple, they are called these days stakeholders, followers, members, clients, your siblings, your children, or even your mother in law. Because the very essence of leadership does not require one to be chosen or prove himself as the one who has a dominant character amongst others. A true leader doesn't need to have an inaugural just to mark the start of his lead, but he must have these three important elements: VHS, vision, heart, and spirit. So, regardless of where you are coming from, earn these words. When you see yourself planning for a year just to consider all the bumps and turns you may experience ahead for the next 10 years, you have a vision of a leader. When sometimes you have considerable level of doubts and fears and then you begin to think of the welfare of other people before yourself, you have a heart of a leader. And when other people look up to you, respect you, more so believe in you, that they trust your words, your decisions faithfully, I am telling you, you have the spirit of a leader. You see, leadership is more than just taking responsibility or having a position on top, because becoming a leader is a lifelong process. The body is just as important, being the vessel which makes these three important elements tangible. And it has already started its training as soon as you have opened your eyes to this world. Your talents and skill sets emerge and develop continuously through time from the influence or your surrounding environment, both physical and social. And what you have now, I am telling you, is more than enough for you to lead. Don't wait for months or even years before you start that organization that will help hundreds of people. Stop believing those negative thoughts that you cannot start that book that will inspire 1,000. Allow yourselves to be an empty cup, always ready to be filled from every learning and experience that you will get. And of course, never stop reinventing yourself as you go to higher levels, because the key to become successful in every endeavor is when you exert more than what you can give. And also, just a disclaimer, that is usually away from your comfort zone and outside the current circle of people you belong to. Leaders will never run out of negativity in their midst, but great leaders know how to convert this to better use, because every negative pressure can be suppressed with a positive mindset. You must treat the naysayers with words of kindness instead of hate, even if it is difficult. Give the unheard voices the chance to be heard, and maybe, just maybe, when we let go of that egoistic paradigm, we can see the greater picture. As leaders, you must learn how to reciprocate other people with a favor that will benefit the majority and not just the chosen few. Trust your advisors, as you will learn so much from them, but never forget who you really are. Adhere to your principles, stick to the process, and more importantly, never base anything from instinct and gut feel alone, but on what is right and just. Never be afraid of failure. Face the setback boldly and learn from it quickly, because dwelling on the setback for too long will surely set you back. Instead, use the downtime on planning your next move and prepare for the next big launch that will catapult you even farther to where you have stopped. And lastly, respect time. As a student, I know that some of you, or rather most of you, have those long sleepless nights cramming for your deadlines and for your plates, and you're spending more time on less significant things. But I am telling you now, if you start this practice as a college freshman, and you will just allow for it to continue, it will eventually become a habit on your third year, and surely procrastination will become the greatest talent in your final year. I remember during my time as a student, just more than a decade ago, our college professor in design taught us that how you value time reflects the value you dedicate to your craft, and how you value your time is the same as how you respect other people's time. You see, time is the greatest asset of every leader, but this is also his greatest liability when he disregards it liberally. Remember, a thoughtless decision made because you had run out of time is called gambling. You're not putting yourself on the line, but you are placing everybody else on thin ice. Time as a precious resource allows you to put everything in the right sequence and order, and time is one of the reasons why you are striving each morning to wake up and make each day great, because once time has passed, it can never be restored. So on that note, let me take this opportunity to give our future architects a few more words from the heart as we celebrate World Architecture Day 2021 with the theme Clean Environment for a Healthy World. In a few years, all of you will become architects. And as architects, your responsibility to become leaders and stewards of the built environment will be put to test repeatedly. Your philosophy towards design will surely be challenged by many factors, but as the prime professional, you must learn to balance the good and the not so good. There's so much involved to make this world healthy, and sad to say you don't have the power to control or change everything, and you can only completely manage one, and that is yourself. Remember that it always begins in the mind. The mindset of believing and knowing that you are a steward of God's creation must be set in first. Now, as leaders, learn to become positive influencers and give voice to what you think is wrong, and stand for what you believe is the right thing to do. You see, there is goodness in every aspect of the profession. The same goes with the architect as a professional. So don't allow yourselves to be defiled with unethical practices and unjust services just for a piece of bread, because you are more than that. When you get lost again, think and go back to your vision. Ask yourselves if your decision is deeply rooted in your goals and objectives. If you are blinded or confused at some point, just close your eyes and see what is really inside your heart, and never get tired of sharpening that leadership spirit. So my dear students, together, as we eye for a healthy world, stop wasting precious time, because small steps moving forward is better than holding your ground. And now is the perfect time to set the path to your journey as a future architect leader that will raise the bar to achieve a clean environment and a sustainable planet. Thank you, and may the great architect in heaven bless us all.